Okay. The history of Linux. In 1983, Richard Stallman started the GNU project with the goal of creating a free Unix-like operating system, similar to Unix. Yeah, like I was mentioning before, Richard Stallman is the inventor of the GNU GPL. As part of his work, he also released the GNU General Public License. Okay, and in 1987, Andy Tannenbaum created a Unix-like, similar to Unix, operating system for IBM PC and PC-80 computers called Minix. So, actually, after the Richard Stallman create the GNU GPL, and Tannenbaum also create a Unix-like operating system. But Minix 16-bit design was not well adapted to the 32-bit features of the Intel 386 architecture, which was increasingly inexpensive and popular for personal computers at the time. So actually, Andre Tannenbaum failed to create Unix-like operating system. Okay. And in 1991, Linus Torvalds started a project that would later become the Linux kernel. So this person is the inventor of the Linux operating system that we use until now. Development was carried out on Minix using the GNU C compiler, and he used a PC with an 80386 processor. So actually, Linux operating system is created by the Linus Torvalds, and Linux is the GNU GPL license. So the license is from the Richard Stallman, but actually the inventor of Linux operating system that we use until now is Linus Torvalds. Yeah, it's just the history of Linux. Yeah, it can be important or not. Yeah, it depends on you. It's just the story about the Linux operating system. As you can see right here, we have the history of the operating system. We know that the GNU actually it's not Unix, but it inspired by Unix license. Then GNU being the GNU Linux, and Linus Torvalds create the Linux operating system that we use until now. As you can see right here, and there also Mac OS, right? Mac OS is the license is from Unix actually. Okay, and where is Windows? So we cannot see Windows operating system in here. So actually Windows is different because Windows is not the Unix license, so we cannot see in this slide. Okay, so what exactly Linux is? Linux is actually a kernel, not an operating system. But actually, we can say that Linux is operating system. But actually, Linux is a kernel. But actually, now we can say that Linux is operating system. So what is kernel? Kernel is a program that allocates and controls hardware resources in a system. So it means when you use operating system, there is maybe some library in the operating system that can connect hardware and software. Okay, so that is a kernel. Kernel is a program that allocates and controls hardware resources in a system. So that is the core of the operating system, right? Kernel. Linux also has a kernel. Windows operating system also has a kernel. So actually, kernel is the smallest part of the operating system that can allocate and control hardware resources in a system. So, but we can say that Linux is operating system because the kernel is the part of the operating system. And there is also Linux distributions or distros. So we can say that Linux distributions is more popular, that we can say that distros use the Linux kernel along with the GNU operating system. Okay, I will present to you what is distro in a second. And GNU plus kernel Linux is open source operating system because the Linux created by Linus Torvalds Then GNU GPL is created by Ken Thompson. It is the license, and this one is the operating system. So we can say that Linux plus GNU is open source operating system. This one is the license. This one is the operating system. So we can say that Linux is open source operating system because the license is GNU GPL, free license, right? And Linux kernel, the Linux kernel is currently maintained by Linus Torvalds. So from the article that I read before, Linus Torvalds is still alive until now, and several hundred other developers. And release are numbered in a very regular manner. Yeah, it contains major, minor, and patch level. An odd minor number denotes kernel development under development. Example, 2 Linux version 2.4.20, because this one is the even number, so this version is a stable kernel. But when we see that there is a version of the Linux kernel with the 2.5.67, so 67 is the odd number, so this is still a development version. It's not a stable version. Okay, we can say that this one is beta version, not the stable version. So why should we use GNU Linux? Yeah, we can use operating system, Linux operating system as a platform server. Very few operating system can rival GNU Linux in parts of performance, price, and stability. So yeah, why should we use the Linux operating system? When we compare with the Windows operating system, when we want to use Windows operating system, we have to pay it, right? So the price, when we compare in the price term, we can say that Linux is cheaper because we don't need to pay at all, right? We don't need to spend the money to buy Linux operating system. And the performance, yeah, this one is subjective because the Windows operating system also have a good performance, but actually because Linux operating system is the open source operating system, so we can modify the kernel, so maybe it can increase the performance of the Linux operating system. And stability, yeah, we know that the Linux operating system, there are a lot of developers that use Linux operating system as their main OS. So maybe when we found the bugs or error in our Linux operating system, yeah, it's easy to find the solution of the problem because there are a lot of developers use it. We can just use Google search engine, then type what is the error of our Linux OS. So yeah, stability, it means there are a lot of developers use it, so we don't need to worry if there is something wrong in our Linux OS because we can find the solution easily. And for developers, GNU Linux has many tools available to developers and all for free. Yeah, free is the main advantage that when we use Linux OS. Yeah, for regular users, yeah, it's fun because maybe you have not tried to use Linux operating system and you really want to try another operating system. Yeah, Linux is a best choice for you beside the Windows operating system. So yeah, it's fun because we try something new, right? Advantages of using Linux, yeah, Linux is free. Learning Linux means learning Unix, and Unix is the largest server platform in the world. And the Linux community is very active and helpful. Yeah, as was mentioned before, there are a lot of community you can just find in social media. There are a lot of community that use the Linux operating system, so the support is very fast. But yeah, but more difficult to use than Windows. Yeah, it's also subjective because maybe before you use the Linux operating system, you always use the Windows operating system, so it can more difficult to use than Windows. The installation process is not done automatically like Windows. Yeah, when you want to install the application in Linux operating system, it's not done automatically like Windows. Maybe in Windows you can just double click on the executing on the file installation file. You can just double click, then you just click next, 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 then finish. Yeah, but in Linux we cannot install the software automatically like Windows. But yeah, we will learn how to install the application in Linux operating system. You have to configure the hardware manually. Yeah, because there are a lot of driver of the hardware that still not support in Linux operating system. So, for example, I have a printer. Then I want to print some document using Linux operating system. Yeah, maybe the driver of my printer is not supported. So for the Linux operating system, so we have to configure the hardware manually. Yeah, it's okay still because we have a community right in Linux operating system, so we can just we can just find the solution how to configure the hardware manually. And there are a lot of hardware that doesn't work on Linux yet. Okay, like I was mentioning before. And Linux distros, yeah. We can now we discuss about the Linux distros. Linux distros, short for Linux distributions, are Linux which are made by packaging certain programs based on existing sources and packaged in such a way that they have different views or features according to the wishes of the distribution maker. So actually, there are a lot of Linux version. There is Ubuntu. Ubuntu is one of the Linux distro, right? So I also give an analogy to you. You know, maybe you in your home you have smart TV, and you also have smartphone, and you also have maybe the tablet, and your smart TV use Android, right? But Android that is optimized for TV, for television. Your smartphone also use the Android operating system. Your TV use Android OS and your smartphone also use Android OS. So it's same Android, right? But it has a different distribution because Android in your smartphone is optimized for smartphone, and Android for television is optimized for your television. Yeah, it's similar with the Linux distros. It depends what we need. If we want Linux operating system for server, maybe we can use the uh, Linux Mint. Yeah, Linux Mint maybe it is optimized for the computer server, but we use the Ubuntu, right? Ubuntu is for regular users because yeah, it's very easy to use. The UI is very easy for the beginner of the Linux operating system. So we choose Ubuntu. So there are a lot of version of Ubuntu, right? So there is Fedora, OpenSUSE, Linux Mint, Ubuntu, and yeah, many more. These are some Linux distribution or Linux distros that is popular. Each distribution has its own advantages or specialties. Users can choose the distribution according to their needs. Yeah, as you can see right here, there are six, but there are more Linux distributions. So, for example, we use Ubuntu. Ubuntu has a better security and better hardware supported that use the Ubuntu, and also the package. The yeah, if we compare with another Linux distribution like the Debian, as we can see right here, Debian has a better performance than Ubuntu. Yeah, maybe because the Debian is not optimized for regular users, so the UI is not optimized for the beginner user of Linux operating system. So Debian has a better performance. Yeah, it depends on what we need. If we need an easy Linux operating system, yeah, Ubuntu is a best choice for us because we are the beginner the beginner user of the Linux operating system. So it is better that we use Ubuntu operating system. Ubuntu, OpenSUSE, Linux Mint, Arch Linux, Debian, and Fedora. These are of the Linux distributions. Yeah, like the analogy, Android OS. Your television use Android OS. Maybe you have a car in your home, then your car has also the head unit that use Android OS. Yeah, it's optimized for the user in when they driving the car, and also you use Android in your smartphone. It's optimized for your smartphone. Yeah, it's similar with the Linux distributions. Okay, and yeah, this is the Linux distros popularities. So I put this information in April 7, 2020 last year, and MX Linux is the most popular Linux distribution in this year 2020, right? So Ubuntu is in 5 positions. Yeah, as you can see like this. Maybe now the rank is changed, so I don't know, but because I get this information in April 7, 2020. Yeah, okay. As you can see right here, these are the Linux distribution. This is the Linux Mint. This is the Ubuntu, and I don't know what is this Linux distribution, because I never use it. Yeah, these are the Linux distributions. UI, user interface. Yeah, because we focus on the Ubuntu, so we will use the Ubuntu. Ubuntu. So yeah, so maybe we can just try to install the Ubuntu operating system. So actually, have you downloaded the Ubuntu? Have you downloaded 2 files, right? The first file is for the image OS, and the second file is for Linux installation from scratch. So yeah, we install from scratch, so we can just allocate the resource in our computer to run the Linux operating system. And for the second files, we will install the Linux operating system using Virtualbox, right? And the first files also we use Virtualbox. So the differences between the first files and the second files, the first files is the Linux with image OS. So there is another people that package the Linux installation with their own configuration. So we can just use it. We can just double click the image OS, then our VirtualBox will appear. So I will give you an example, because I have downloaded these 2 files, Ubuntu, this one and this one. Wait a minute. Okay, so I will copy this file to my documents. I will create a new folder right here. So I will show to you how to install Linux operating system using the first file and the second files. So I will create a new folder here. Okay, as you can see right here, this one is the first file that I shared to you in Telegram group, right? And this one is the second file. So what is differences between these files and this file? When we use the first file, we can just double click on these files, because this one is the image OS. Image OS means that any other developer create the Linux installation with their own configuration. Okay, you can just double click it, and we don't need to allocate the resource into this VirtualBox machine, but actually we can also modify it, right? Okay, we can also modify it. Maybe the RAM memory you can modify with our configuration, but actually we don't need, if we don't want to configure it, so we can just leave it default and click import, agree. Okay, so it takes some minutes to importing the virtual disk image, and yeah, we can just waiting it. And the second files is for Linux installation from scratch. So it means we install Linux operating system with our configuration, right? So we can modify the username of the Linux operating system and the password and something like that. We need to configure it manually. But this one is created by other developer that use the Linux operating system for their OS. So actually, yeah, if you want to easy installation, you can just use the first file. But if you want to configure the Linux operating system based on your configuration, so we can use the second files. So maybe have you downloaded it before? So from the chat in Telegram group, Zenhard have downloaded it, right? So what about the others?
Yes.
Have you downloaded? Wait, I will stop my screen first. What about the Kenneth? Have you downloaded?
Yes, sir. I've downloaded.
So have you tried to install the Linux in your computer?
Not yet.
Not yet. So yeah, it's okay. We will install in this session, right? We will install. I will explain to you step by step how to install Linux operating system. Like I was showing to you before that I install the first file. Yeah, just double click it. Yeah, it's very easy, right? Just double click the files, then the Linux operating system is already installed in your virtual machine. uh, Wait, I will delete the, because I also try before this class, so I will delete my previous Ubuntu. So actually, yeah, this one is for the first file. This one is image OS. Image OS. It means, yeah, like I was mentioning before, and there is other developer that package the Linux installation with their own configuration. So yeah, it's already installed. Then you can just click start button. If you find any error, yeah, it's okay. You can just search on the Google. The virtual machine window will be now switched to the scale mode. You can go back to the window mode at any time by pressing host plus yeah. Yeah, just uh, press the switch button. Yeah. So I already installed the Linux OS in my computer, in my virtual box, right? So you can try in your computer. Just double click on the first file, then the installation process, the importing process will run automatically. I hope that you find any error, right? Because I also found any error before, but yeah, I know the solution. So if you try, then you find any error, you can we can just discuss it after this. Okay. What about Zenhard? Can you share your screen? Then show to me your installation process for the first file.
So I have to share screen and installing it, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I hear your voice, your Linux sound. So I was wondering that you have installed it in your computer. Yeah. Okay.
So I just click it like Yes. As you do, sir.
Yeah,
Okay. This one.
yeah, that one. Okay, so you can configure your resource for your Linux operating system, but actually if you want to leave it default, yeah, just click next, just click import, agree. Okay, okay, yeah, we can just wait the importing process. Okay, yeah, it takes around 5 minutes, right? Yeah, it depends
Yes.
on your computer. So after you import the importing process finish, your Linux OS will be run automatically. So we don't need to give the username. You know that when we install the operating system, we have to create a user, right? We have to create a username for password for for the user, for the OS user. So actually, if we use the image OS, we don't need to create a user because yeah, the user is created automatically. Zenhard, can you open the link? Open the link that I shared to you in Telegram group for the first file.
This one, sir.
That one, yeah. Yeah, this is the web that, yeah, the developer that create the Linux image OS that we use. So you can scroll it down, Zenhard, scroll it down. Then you will find what is the username and password for that Linux OS. So scroll it down again. Yeah, important information. That one, login details. So we can use the username Ubuntu and password Ubuntu, right? So after your importing process finish, Zenhard, you can log into your
Yes.
Ubuntu OS with that username and password.
Okay.
Okay. So the installation process, I think the importing process, I think is done, right?
Yes.
You can just start your Ubuntu. Okay. I found error after I import the Linux OS, but yeah, maybe it's different with your computer. I don't know. But if we found any error, it's okay. We will find the solution. Ah, so what is the error message?
Not
Because the
start.
following physical network interfaces were not found. Okay, so you need to press the change network setting, Zenhard. Okay, so you need to change the attached in. It's not bridged adapter. So you need to change it, Zenhard, to N80, not yeah. Okay,
This one,
and
sir.
yeah, that one. Okay, yeah. I hope there is no error. Uh, what is it? Fail to open the session for the virtual machine. So you need to change a sorry, you need to press the details. So we need to know what is the error message because the USB 2.0 controller state is part of the safe VM state. This VM cannot be started. Okay, so we can just close that error message Zenhard. Okay, and then press setting. From the error message that we read before, it's the problem is in the USB 2.0, right? So you need to open it, then you need to disable the USB control. Just uncheck the enable USB controller. Yeah, maybe right now for the newest computer, they don't have the USB 2.0, right? So I think the problem is on the port. Okay, okay, press OK button, then start again. Yeah, what about the others? Zenhard, what about Kathleen? Have you downloaded Kathleen and try
Yes,
it
sir.
in your computer?
Yes.
Okay, is there any error or problem?
The error is same like Siva.
Okay, so you can just follow the step, the Zenhard step, right? Okay, I think the installation process is finished. Zenhard, you can just stop your share screen. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, what about the Kathleen? Kathleen, I really want to know your installation process. Can you share your screen?
Okay.
Okay, so the installation process is finished, right? So you can just try to use the Linux and the Ubuntu operating system, Kathleen. Yeah, it's similar with Windows, but actually the toolbar is not in the bottom of your screen, but in the right of your screen, right? So there are some applications that uh, automatically install in your Ubuntu OS, like Firefox, then what is it? It's not Microsoft Word, I think. It's LibreOffice. LibreOffice is the document processing tools for the Linux OS. It's also open source, so we don't need to pay it. And Microsoft Office is not supported for the Linux operating system. So sadly, it's not supported, so we can use it. Yeah, you can just press the Firefox icon, Kathleen. Yeah, it's for a web browser. Yeah, it's similar with Google Chrome. Is it connected to you in the internet or not? I don't know. Yeah, you can just type any web. Yeah, or YouTube maybe. Yeah, it worked, right? So if you want to uh, full screen for your Ubuntu, you can just press the view toolbar, Kathleen, view, then switch to full screen mode. Yeah, then switch. So I cannot see the Kathleen screen again. Maybe after you switch to the full screen mode, then your Zoom will automatically answer your screen again. I don't know. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Kathleen. You can stop
You're
your.
welcome, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What about the other? Michelle, do you have any problem? Or Kenneth, if you have any problem, you can ask to me. We can discuss it in this session. Okay. If you don't have any problem, I will present to you how to install the second files for the Linux installation from scratch. So we don't use the image OS, but we will install the Linux operating system with our configuration, with my configuration. So I will share my screen again. Then I will show to you how to install the Linux operating system from scratch, not from the Linux configuration from other developers. So I will use these files, the second files. So the step is, first I need to open my virtual machine, Virtualbox, right? So I will stop my Ubuntu first, okay, or of the machine. Then
I'm sorry, sir. I have a big problem.
yeah, okay, you can share your screen. Cannot. What is your problem?
Okay.
Wait,
Hold on.
I will stop myself. Okay. Okay, on this week we only install the Linux, right? So in the next week we will discuss how to use some features in Linux operating system. So actually this week I really hope that all of you have been successfully installed the Linux operating system. Okay, so what is your problem, Kenneth?
It's set network error.
The network error. So you need to change the attached to into NAT, NAT. Okay.
Okay.
Then you don't need to press the OK button, but it's okay. Open it again because maybe you have the same problem with Genhard. When you run your Linux, then there is some error with your USB 2.0 port. But actually, yeah, you can just run the your Ubuntu OS again. Yeah, it's okay. Run it again.
Oh, wait. I forgot what.
Yeah. So yeah, the problem is same with Genhard problem, right? So you need to disable the USB 2.0 port. Cannot. So you open your VirtualBox. You can close it first, the error message. Okay, and then uh, Ubuntu.
It's gone.
No. That one, this one. Cannot. Ubuntu. You can just press the Ubuntu
This one?
X. No. In your virtual machine, in your VirtualBox, Ubuntu.
Oh,
Ah,
this one.
so press the setting button, then press the USB option, then uncheck the enable USB control. Uncheck USB control. Okay. So I think based on my experience, that two errors is occur when you use a newer computer, because you know the newer computer doesn't use the USB 2.0, right? So okay, click OK, then run it again. Yeah, I think you already run your Ubuntu. Cannot, you can
Yes,
just
sir. Thank you, sir.
your okay. What about the other? Gabriel or Michelle? Do you have any problem? If you have any problem, you can just share your screen. If you don't have any problem, yeah, it's okay. I will continue my presentation. Yeah, Gabriel, do you have any problem? No? No? Okay. I cannot hear your voice, Gabriel. Okay. Michelle doesn't have any problem. Oh, you have any problem, Gabriel? So what is your problem? So maybe there is a problem with your microphone because I cannot hear your voice. Okay, you already figured it out. Okay, thank you. Okay, I will continue my presentation how to install the Linux OS from scratch. So actually I will share my screen again. Then I will show to you how to create Linux OS installation, Ubuntu installation using a scratch mode. So actually I already show to you step by step in the slide. So actually, yeah, I will share. I will present to you how to create it. Yeah, it's similar when you install the Windows 10 in your Virtualbox. Yeah, it's similar. So the differences is just when you use the Linux operating system, so you need to choose the ISO, Ubuntu ISO, not Windows ISO. So first of all, we need to press the new button. Then I will create a new machine. I will create the new machine. So I will name it my NPK. You have NRP and I have NPK. So 216037 is my NPK, and then my name now file. So this is the name of my Linux operating system. Wait, okay. I will follow the step in the slide. So okay, okay. So I will give the name as not this one, but Ubuntu, then space my name, my npk, and my name. This one. Then the type is Linux, and the version is the Ubuntu 64-bit. Wait a minute, I will try to. Okay, yeah, it's maybe it's different with the. Oh wait a minute. Oh, I'm sorry, because in the slide, because I don't create the slide like in the Google Classroom. So actually, this slide is created by Mr. Felix from regular class. So actually, I will show to you how to use the VirtualBox to install the Ubuntu, not VMware, because Mr. Felix in regular class use VMware as a virtual machine to install the Linux operating system. So actually, yeah, it's similar with the VirtualBox. VMware and VirtualBox VirtualBox and VMware are the virtual machine tools. So actually, we can just choose one of them, and I choose the VirtualBox because VirtualBox is free, it's open source, so we don't need to pay to use it. But if you really want to use the VMware, it's okay, but it's not free. So you need to pay to use it. And there is a trial version of VMware, but actually I don't use it. So I will present to you how to install the Ubuntu OS using VirtualBox, not VMware. But if you see in the slide, yeah, the step is for the VMware, not VirtualBox. So I will, yeah, show to you how to create the Ubuntu installation using VirtualBox. Yeah, it's similar when you install the Windows OS. Yeah, I will give the name as Ubuntu my npk, then underscore my name. And the type is Linux, and the version is Ubuntu 64-bit. Okay, then yeah, the recommended memory size is around 1 GB, right? So it depends on your computer. So yeah, it's better if I change the memory to 2 GB, 2048 megabyte, because I have 8 GB of RAM. Then click continue. Yeah, we can just leave it default. Create a virtual hard disk now. Then choose VDI, continue, and dynamically allocated. Continue again. And this one is for the size of the hard drive. So 10 GB, I think it's enough. So I will press the quit. Okay, then start. Okay, and this one you need to choose your ISO, Ubuntu ISO. So I will add the ISO because I put the ISO in my document file, Linux, and this one. Open it. Okay, then choose start. Yeah, it's similar when you install the Windows OS in your virtual machine, and the difference is the ISO files. You need to choose the Ubuntu ISO files. Okay, Okay, you can just wait it. Okay, so okay, yeah, it's very small, right? The size of the resolution of the Ubuntu is very small, but yeah, we can configure it later, or maybe we can just click the view. Okay, I cannot click it. Maybe it's still in the installation process, right? View. Okay, you can just wait the installation process. So you can also follow this step. Zenhard or Kathleen, Michelle, Gabriel, you can just follow this, and Kenneth, you can just follow these steps. You need to create a new virtual machine in your Virtualbox. Then I recommend you to use 2 GB of RAM if you have 8 GB of RAM. But if your computer use 4 GB of RAM, you can just use the 1 GB of RAM. I think it's enough. Wait a minute. Okay. It's very small. I will scale it to 200. Okay. Okay. So I will choose the English language. Then yeah, this one you can just download updates while installing Ubuntu. I don't need to download the updates while installing Ubuntu because I really want to save my time for the installation process. So I will click continue. Okay, then you need to choose the there are some option right here, right? So if you choose the something else, so you need to make the allocation of your hard drive. It's like when you install the Windows operating system, but actually because we install the Ubuntu in our VirtualBox, so it's okay if I just choose the erase disk and install Ubuntu, because you know there is no previous Ubuntu in my virtual machine, right? In this hard drive. So I just choose the erase disk and install Ubuntu, then click install now. Yeah, just continue. Okay. Yeah, it took some times to the install Ubuntu. Yeah, the where are you? I am on this time region, so I just choose Jakarta. Okay, the keyboard layout. Yeah, in Indonesia use the US version of keyboard, so we need to use the US. Then click next. Wait, this one. So I can just change the resolution to, okay, this I think it's enough. I have a problem with my resolution, I think. Wait. Okay. Okay, just click continue, continue again. And the name. So the name I can write my name actually. So I will follow the instruction in the slide, because yeah, although the slide use the VMware, but we can just follow the username and password. Wait a minute. Okay. OS KPZ, because we are in KPZ class, right? 01, like this one. Then require password to login. Yeah, can just type the password. So the password is the Ubuntu. This one. Yeah, it's weak password, but it's okay. Let's click continue. Okay, so we need to wait until the installation process is finished. Yeah, it took some time, so we can just wait it. So after the installation process is finished, yeah, it's similar with your previous Ubuntu when you install from the image OS. But actually, when you use the second installation step, so you need to change the username and password. You need to configure the name of your computer, the name of your operating system, like I was mentioning before, because we need to configure it manually. Okay. We need to wait until the installation process is finished. But if you have any question or a problem, you can just ask to me and share your screen. Okay. So we will wait until the installation process is finished. Yeah, it took around 2 minutes and 17 seconds. So we will wait until the installation process finishes. So you can try in your computer. So I think there is no significant problem when we install the Linux operating system. And next week we will discuss how to use the Linux operating system, because there are some features, some interesting features in Linux operating system that we have to try it. Like, when we use the Linux operating system, we will always interact with the terminal. Terminal, it's like the command prompt in Windows, right? In Linux operating system, we call it as a terminal. So command and interface tools in Linux operating system is terminal. So when we use the Linux operating system, so we always interact with it, because all of the command, all of the command in Linux operating system will type in terminal, will be typed in terminal. So yeah, we'll discuss it in the next week. And we also try how to install the application in Linux operating system, because like I was mentioning before, when we use Linux operating system, the installation process of a software cannot done automatically like Windows operating system. So we need to follow the step how to install the app in Linux operating system. Yeah, it's a little bit different with the Windows operating system, but it's okay. If you just try it, then you will know how to install it. Then yeah, after that we also use this Linux operating system as a server, as an operating system server. So we will install some service in our Linux operating systems, like we will install the database server, we will install the web server in our Linux operating system. And we can also what is it called, we can also remote this Linux operating system from Windows OS. So if we have computer server that runs Linux, then we want to control it from Windows operating system. Yeah, we can do it using the remoting tools for the Linux operating system. So we
Excuse
can
me,
just
sir.
control the terminal. We can just control the UI also. We can also control the UI, and we can also control only the directory. Okay, wait a minute. Any question?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Zinhard.
Kilang told me he can join today. He tell like this. He tried to install the Linux on his laptop, but its effect on his laptop became slow and overheat. And also his laptop is always suddenly shut down when try to running the Linux. And when he want to run it, he says that his storage is under 50 gigabytes, so it needs to be surfaced.
Yeah, it's okay, but you need to tell Kilang to, yeah, it's okay if he cannot install the Linux operating system, but we really hope that Kilang join to this class for the next week. If he cannot run the Linux operating system, it's okay, but he needs to join this class, and after the class he can just try the Linux in his computer. So actually you can also talk Kilang to chat me in Telegram and tell the problem to me. Maybe I can give him a solution to his laptop or computer. Okay, you can just tell Kilang to chat me in Telegram, then describe about his problem to me, then I will give him a solution. Okay, thank you, Zinat, for your information.
Okay, sir.
So maybe the solution when your computer is really slow to run the Linux by using the Virtualbox, so you can join the class by using the smartphone. So you can just uh, join the class by using the smartphone, but also you don't need to open the Zoom application from your computer. So yeah, I think it's a good solution for all of you, not only in this course, but also in other course. If if you need a good specification computer to run some application in another course, so the solution is use your smartphone for doing a Zoom session, and you can also open your computer to follow the steps or to follow the instruction from the lecturer. So I think it's a good solution to you for the for this online class. I don't know, maybe next semester we really hope that we can doing not online class but offline class, But actually, we really hope in the next semester we can meet directly in our campus. So we can, yeah, the differences between the online class and offline class. So we really hope that we can meet in the next semester. Okay. So wait, Kilang chat to me. So I will give him solution. Okay, the installation process is complete. Then restart now. I will start my Ubuntu. Okay. Please remove the installation medium, then press enter. So because we don't need the installation media for this installation, so I think we can just type the enter button. Okay. Okay, this is the Ubuntu login page. So I just type my password, then press the enter button. Then it will answer to the Ubuntu desktop. So it means, yeah, as I was mentioning before, Ubuntu 16.04. So this one is a 4 even number, right? So this is the stable version of the Ubuntu, right? 16, it means this version is developed in 2016. Yeah, it's very old. Why we should use the Ubuntu 16 version 16? Because um, because after we discuss from the lecture of operating system, we discuss about what is the best version of the Ubuntu operating system that we used to teach all of the students. So Ubuntu 16 is a good choice because it is a stable and it also doesn't require a high specification to run it. So yeah, we think that Ubuntu version 16 is the best option for us to learn Ubuntu because it doesn't require a high specification to run it and it's also stable. Okay, so we think that this version is a stable version, very stable version if you compare to another version. And the installation size and the file size, the ISO size, it's also not high. It's around 2 GB, right? So we think that this Ubuntu is best choice for us to try it to learn the Ubuntu operating system. Okay, so yeah, this is the okay. Gilang has joined to this session. Okay, Gilang, what is your problem? So can you tell me about your problem? I hear from Zenhard that you have a problem with your computer, right? Okay. Okay. Gilang has tell the problem in this Telegram group. Yeah, it's okay. So you don't need to open the Virtualbox, Gilang, when you open your laptop. So yeah, because you run a lot of application. You run the browser, you also run the Zoom application, and you also run the Virtualbox. Yeah, it's okay. You can just open the Virtualbox in your computer. You don't need to open the web browser, and you can just join this class by using the smartphone. Yeah, it's okay. For the next class, if you have any problem with your laptop, you can just join to this class by using your smartphone. Yeah, it's okay, Gilang. Okay. Okay, Gilang. After this, I will share the recording video for this class, so you can just follow the instruction, my instruction, how to install the Ubuntu. But actually, if you still have any problem with your laptop, you can discuss with me in Telegram. Okay. Yeah, this one is the Ubuntu. So I open the browser. So I open YouTube like yeah. I just want to test that this Ubuntu is connected to the internet or not. You can just open the youtube.com. Yeah, maybe youtube.com. Okay. Gilang, if you have any problem with the laptop, you can just give the Linux in your virtual machine, in your VirtualBox, just give 1 GB of RAM. I think it's still enough. It's enough to run the Ubuntu operating system. So you can just allocate 1 GB for RAM and 10 GB for the hard drive. So I think it's still enough to run the Ubuntu operating system. Yeah, I know that this is the problem when we study online, like when we doing online learning. So maybe because there is a problem with our laptop, so we cannot run the application correctly. Because yeah, you know, I really appreciate that you still join this class, and you can you still tell about your problem. I really happy to to hear your problem, because you know that you still follow the class and try in your laptop. It's okay. It's okay, Gilang. So my recommendation that you use your laptop, then you still use you can still use your laptop, but you can just allocate 1 GB of RAM for your Ubuntu. So I think the Ubuntu in your computer will still run correctly. So yeah, you need to try after this. Okay, I think it's enough for our class today. So I really hope that you have successfully installed the Linux operating system in your computer. Then next week we can discuss more about the features in Linux operating system. As I was mentioning before, we will focus on the terminal, because we will always interact with the terminal in Linux. Yeah, we will a lot of interact with the command prompt. Command prompt in Linux is terminal, right? So we will discuss it in the next week. So if you have any question, you can still discuss in our Telegram group. Then if you have still any problem with your Ubuntu operating system, you can just discuss the problem in Telegram group. Okay, I will share this video. I will share this recording video after this class. So Gilang, you can just watch my presentation in this week. Okay, thank you for your attention. I will end this class, and good morning.